Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If you guys have been on Twitter at the moment, you may have seen a lot of the videos that are coming from London at the moment, and it looks like London is burning. It's not a good thing. There's a lot of people rioting. And look, I'm going to do the very best that I possibly can to explain the situation that's going on. It seems like you have the mainstream media, which is trying to allude to certain inaccuracies that is taking place on the ground. You have a lot of other people on Twitter, such as Tommy Robinson and several others that I know that are part of, I guess you could call them the Patriot UKers, or the ones that are trying to take back their country, essentially because of mass immigration. If you let in all these immigrants into the country, you end up becoming, or if you let in a great deal of people from a third world country illegally, and you just allow them free reign in your country, you end up becoming a third world country eventually. Eventually, the people that are coming from the third world country, they don't care about your laws, they don't care about the rules and regulations or any of the other people there. They will take over it because they just don't care, right? I've said that twice already. That is the truth. If people are coming in a legal standpoint, there's due processes. I'm totally fine with all that sort of stuff. If you come into a country illegally and you're not supposed to be there, then I have a problem with that. Like everybody else that is coming into the country and doing due process and following everything, like they're working hard, they're studying to get their citizenship and whatever else. I have a lot of respect for those kinds of people because they're very, very hardworking and they have goals and visions. But a lot of these people that are coming into a lot of the first world countries like the UK and Australia, I know Australia's got very strict border policies and I'm very grateful for that. Although under the current prime minister, who is so weak and so pathetic, it's not even funny anymore. It's actually quite sad and concerning. You have a lot of immigrants coming in, and a lot of them happen to be people with a great deal of crime associated to them. So is it any wonder, like what's happening in the UK? It's burning, and you have people like Tommy Robinson, who is arrested several times for stupid things. He's like not even doing anything wrong, if you ask me. He is peacefully protesting, which you're allowed to do. No violence has really been struck with Tommy Robinson or any of the people. He can have like a massive group of people, like thousands upon thousands of people in the UK gathering with Tommy Robinson's events, and it'd be totally peaceful and no violence will break out. But you have in other sections of the UK, other protests that just, oh my goodness me, they erupt. And you have parliamentarians like Keir Starmer, who's the new UK Prime Minister, who won by a landslide, and that was like coming, like we saw that coming from a mile away. It wasn't like the Tories were going to get back in because they did a terrible job as well. And it's like the former PM Rishi Sunak is condemning all of the so-called far right thugs. It's this is a very interesting story because you like, who is actually telling the truth here? Who can you really believe? So let's have a look at it. Now, I am very, very much in the know when it comes to the mainstream media, but in order for us to get a full perspective, I'm not saying that what the mainstream media is alluding to in this article is 100% accurate. So please, do your own research in your own time to figure out what's going on. But effectively, the main issue that people are rising about is the mass immigration that the UK is allowing. And they want to take back their country. Patriotic people, I mean, be like the US, right? Trying to take back their country from all the illegal aliens that are crossing the border. So anyway, travelers have been warned, and the PM, Keir Starmer, who's a pathetic excuse of a PM, just very much like our Anthony Albanese, slams far-right thuggery as UK rocked by worst riots in 13 years. So imagine you are the brand new PM. You think that you won because, you're this great individual and it's time for change and all that sort of stuff. And the first thing that you want to do is blame your own people for far right thuggery and doing the wrong thing by trying to take back their own country. So well done, Keir Starmer. You're going to make more enemies than friends, it would seem, in your position. And I mean, you don't even know what the hell you're doing or talking about because the people are fed up. They've had it. Why else are they rioting so much, man? If you're doing a good job, you've been in the job for, I don't even know how long he's been in the job. I think the election was in July or something. Um, you haven't even been in the job that long. People are starting to riot because what you've already done is so terrible that people are just still fed up, or you haven't done anything. And that's why they're going, stuff this. Foreigners in the UK are being warned for their safety as the PM fumes at those involved in ugly, violent scenes gripping the nation. England's worst rioting in 13 years has continued to escalate after disturbances linked to child murders and involving far-right agitators flared across the country. So there's a bit of, I guess, misinformation that is spread online. I've seen quite a bit of it. This is like 3 young girls were killed by, I guess you could call it a young black kid, and people were outraged, as you no doubt would be, and people were blaming it on the fact that it's immigration and so forth and so forth. They use it as a massive excuse, and people weren't happy, and riots and that sort of stuff broke out as a result, clashing with police, and the PM just didn't like it. So he blamed the people that wanted to stand up for the likes of the 3 young girls, and the PM didn't necessarily care about the grieving families. No, he seemed to care more about the fact that people are fed up, and he goes, you guys are going to jail. So let's forget about the wake period. No, anyway, the violence is posing a major test to Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who was elected only a month ago after leading Labor to a landslide win. He didn't lead them. It was bound to happen. He has promised those involved will feel the full force of the law. Yeah. So it seems like your own citizens feel the full force of the law, but the immigrants that aren't actually residents, they don't feel it. They get let off. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online and then running away themselves, Starmer said in an address to the nation on Sunday. Oh, you sound all tough. Great job, Keir Starmer. This is not a protest. It is organized violent thuggery, and there's no place on our streets or online. Yeah, you can tell that they're from the UK. Violent thuggery. He added, people in this country have a right to be safe, and yet we've seen Muslim communities targeted, attacks on mosques, other minority communities singled out, Nazi salutes in the street, attacks on the police, wanton violence alongside racist rhetoric. So essentially, he's siding for the immigrants and not for the actual others in the country. Amazing, isn't it? So, no, I won't shy away from calling it what it is. Far right thuggery. Malaysia has issued an urgent advice to Malaysians in the UK, urging them to register with the High Commission of Malaysia in London. So it's getting serious, people. Malaysians residing in or traveling to the United Kingdom are urged to stay away from protest areas, remain vigilant, and follow the latest updates and guidance provided by local authorities. So I even saw on Twitter videos that have been circulating of, you have Muslims in the street that they're doing these sort of counter protests, and a lot of them have got knives and they're running around stabbing people. I have seen videos like that, which, is rather concerning. I've seen citizens of the UK running for their lives from the likes of immigrants chasing after them. And yes, they're the far right thugs, ladies and gentlemen, that Keir Starmer is referring to. You can't hate politicians or the mainstream media nearly enough because they lie through the skin of their teeth, and it's just infuriating and frustrating. The Australian government, so my country, has not updated its UK travel advice since May 2nd. So obviously, if you're an Australian, if you want to go over to the UK, by all means, you don't need to look out for any of these riots, because they're our they're the ones that came to us, and they're the ones that formed Australia. So don't worry, UK, Australia's got your back. By the looks of things, Aussies are still warned to exercise a high degree of caution in the UK due to the threat of terrorism. So the far right thugs or far right thuggery is linked now with terrorism. Who would have thought? As for protests, it instructs travellers to avoid areas where protests are occurring due to the potential for disruption and violence. Now, if you see like people on YouTube putting up videos and interviewing people in the streets, and you're asking them like, why are you here? Why are you protesting? And they're doing it peacefully, I might add, in these so-called, threat areas. They're going, we're sick and tired of this. We want our country back. We want to feel safe. We want to like have our kids safe, but we can't because immigrants are taking over our country. This is when these ideologies become too much that we start to realize a bit too late that they don't actually work. And in fact, they destroy the country. Doesn't help it, destroys it. So these have been the worst riots in over a decade. In the latest incident, trouble flared in Rotherham, South Yorkshire on Sunday when masked anti-immigration demonstrators smashed several windows at a hotel that has been used to house asylum seekers. Mr. Starmer described these as marauding gangs intent on law breaking or worse. Well, who's breaking the law more? The ones that shouldn't actually be in the country in the first place, or the ones that are trying to get the ones that are breaking the law out of the country? Allow that to sink in for a moment. So we're going to smash windows. Oh, that's more of a crime. Yeah, it's more of a crime than people actually being here and illegally. We're going to set fire, set ablaze residents and staff in absolute fear. There is no justification, none, for taking this action, he said. Well, great way to unite the people, Keir Starmer. I mean, you're doing a fantastic job by the looks of things. People look like they're very satisfied with your leadership. And, best thing to do, set the police on your actual people. Yeah, not the immigrants that are also doing counter protests. Oh, we can't do that. We can't round them up. We're going to round up the ones that are considered the far right thuggeries. They made more than 90 arrests on Sunday or Saturday after skirmishes broke out at far right rallies in numerous places, including Liverpool, Manchester, Bristol, Blackpool, and Hull, as well as Belfast in Northern Ireland. I saw a video as well seeing Christians and Protestants. That's something you don't see every day because Christians and Protestants were once considered enemies. Yeah, that's a big thing. They were marching hand in hand, arm in arm. Because why? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Get rid of these immigrants that are coming in and destroying the country. Now, personally, I don't know everything that is taking place in London at the moment, but I do know that London is burning. Looks like London has fallen. And I hope to God that all my friends in London at the moment, you're all safe and you're all doing well. Please be careful if you are going over to the UK. I do have quite a few friends of mine over there. So I have been checking in on them and want to make sure that everything is okay for where they are, because London is it is a pretty big country, but a pretty big place, but the majority of it looks like it's been burning. Thanks to these demonstrations of the far right thuggeries, according to Keir Starmer. My goodness me. What a prime minister. What a time to be alive. Honestly, if we can just get like the mainstream media to do their damn job properly, maybe, just maybe, society may actually start to be a little bit better. I don't know. No idea. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I appreciate you guys so much. And if I've got anything wrong, I do apologize. I'm not perfect. I did the very best that I could in regards to what's taking place. So anyway, you guys take care. You be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.